And a warm welcome to Instagram as well. I hope the mid face wasn't too much like this. Every time. It's the timing from that little transition, that little segue from getting the camera going live on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, reliably informing me I am live now on YouTube, and then the same moment to go straight to Instagram with one of these, like a little bird face, or a child having a poo, or better still, like Joseph Biden, let's go Brandon, standing on stage, oh yes, publicly on stage, mission control, literally pinching off a daily loaf, or that's certainly how it looked. Anyway, look, I'm Justin House. Welcome to TrueHouse. This is episode 434. Today's date is, I believe, the 1st of November, as he uses his Pixel 6 Pro to check the date. Nice. Yeah, I know how to run a Pixel. I know how to make a Pixel look minimalistic. You don't want clutter on your phones, guys. You don't want clutter, okay? Daily folders, that'll do. That's my dailies, everything. Okay, and then the entirety of my app collection is there. Anyway, right. Yeah, today's date is November the 1st. It's a Monday. Yeah, it's my brother's birthday today. So shout out to my big bro. He doesn't watch these live streams. I kind of wish he would, but I I don't. I think he probably worries a little bit that I go down rabbit holes with conspiracy and I say things that are just a little bit too edgy. But in all honesty, I don't. I don't want to twist his arm, but I would love my brother to occasionally look at these, even though it would be that, the cringe factor of, oh my God, my kid brother is there just vomiting, this sort of nightly monologue of nonsensical shite. But seriously though, I take a great deal of pride in these, and I know it's little old me, only me, and it's a small audience, and I get all that. But for what it's worth, I get a great deal of whatever. So I don't know. I hope that these streams, either through the messaging, the momentum, the sort of delivery of, I know that the recipe for this trajectory on social media, and therefore earnings, is increased if you fill the following criteria: young, good looking, right? And then to be doing something TikTok-ish or just something outrageous, which we call clickbait. Now, when you're a middle-aged guy, and again, I'm not playing the victim. I'm actually not playing. This is just a demographic. This is just a fact. This is just an algorithmic, demographical, whatever fact. You can square that against what I've just said, which is how do people get really, really good on YouTube? How do people get really, really good? This is going somewhere, by the way, because tonight's topic is digital ID. So I'm really actually discussing our identity, and the inevitable China model, courtesy of obviously WEF, the World Economic Forum, and Klaus Schwab. But yeah, in terms of identity, and the reason I want to mention identity just as a sort of preamble, just caveat, precursor to tonight's, before I start gobbing off about, the digital imminent identity that's happening, and a cashless society, a society that's Experian, Equifax, government monitored. We're talking real top-down stuff, not bottom-up, but proper centralized, not decentralized. Centralized government. Massive government overreach. So anyway, the reason it's like, look at the people online on specifically on these so-called platforms. I call them performative political publishers, but nonetheless, they're apparently public, neutral platforms, allegedly, alluding allegedly. So the one I'm talking to here, YouTube, and the one I'm talking to here, Instagram, it's like, okay, you see who does really well, and it's if you're doing controversy, if you're doing great numbers because you've got great assets, or something, then cool, I get it. But if you're in the genre, there you go, for want of a better expression, the genre of middle-aged bloke talking to camera, telling the truth, and not just like his truth, because I know that's become a catch-all, expression that someone comes on and says, "This is my truth. This is what," and I all of a sudden come out as Justine, and I'm telling you that I'm a biological female, an adult female woman, this massive confusion, and that I can menstruate and give birth, etc., and therefore need maternity, paternity leave, and just do a Pete Buttigieg, whatever it is, the American transport politician chap that's like, you haven't given birth. Why are you tweeting you in a hospital bed? You've bought a baby. You purchased a transaction. You bought a baby. You didn't give birth. Why? That's where we know, in terms of identity, that we are living in a topsy-turvy, inverted, quite perverse world. Because, call me old-fashioned, but when two men take photos, and I'm not going to say this is not anti-gay, this is just anti-behaviour, really, anti their behaviour. I wouldn't care if people did it who were, green skinned, like Greedo. It's not about skin colour, practicing religion, or practicing, your persuasion, if you're into girls, or same sex, homo versus hetero. It's not about that. It's about the facade, the ploy, because I'm coming at this purely from an objective, provable, data sort of, like, it's not controversial to say, it's not radical to say, humans make more humans because the female side of humans are the ones that carry the baby, make the baby. So that I mean, literally, I'm going reductive, silly, base, junior school explanation on purpose. The inner bits, that your innards. There you go. I mean, let's go really childish, and I'm doing this to amuse myself and to prove a ridiculous point. And the ridiculous point I'm proving is this: anyone in charge of their faculties knows that females are the ones that physically, once the man's sperm is in them, their bodies are capable of making a baby. So that's it. What men can't do is that. There you go. Men can't do that. That they might provide the seed, I'm talking at a genetic, cellular, chromosomal, genetic level, at the most basic strands of life, literal DNA. We know that men have the ability to impregnate a woman, but it's the woman's body that makes. And I feel like an actual idiot saying this on camera, because it's so patently absurd and it's so obvious that this doesn't need explanation. Because we were told this at school as little children, that literal birds and bees. And this is where, on the subject tonight, and I will get there, of identity, if we've got, and you've got to think about this, because they, being politicians, they being legacy media, they being mainstream legacy media, they being the BBC, MSN, CNN, and all the just mainstream stuff, right? They are now, because they're so concerned with optics, you hear about this term, transparency and honesty and truth and optics. Well, if you're so concerned, again, this is where a Gen Pop civilian like myself starts to, it's a little bit like the scene out of the Alien, where I'm only mentioning because I watched it late last night, but the alien's got acid for blood and it just melts through everything. I now feel, and I've spoken about this extensively on this live stream, that we're being fed some sort of acid. We're being fed like something that's so corrosive, that's so toxic for us that it will burn us out. I mean, and I'm speaking in metaphors, but I also mean it in a very real sense. That the people in charge, the government, because again, it's this word, isn't it? They. Like you'll be having a coffee with a workmate or whatever, a colleague or someone in your family, and they go, "Oh, you heard what they're saying now?" And what they are saying when they say they are talking about this inner self censorship, this inner like better bite my tongue, better not say that. It's when a regular person like me goes onto his device and I just had a notification now. Actually, that's what that little chirp was. I am a fan of Goog. I love their software. I love their hardware. This is why I use Apple. And anyway, the point is, I go on to. I've been setting up the last few days this new Pixel 6 Pro, and it's really, really, really good. And it perfectly complements that iPhone 13 Pro Max and the Xiaomi S21 Ultra. I feel very, very, very lucky to be, just in my possession at all, just to be using these three genuine flagship phones. My point is this: when I had to go back into my Google account, and it's like the system Google alerts you that someone's trying to sign in from another device, and of course it means that I'd taken my SIM card out of my S21 Ultra there, and of course popped it in the Pixel 6 Pro. And you've all been there if you've got a Gmail account, and it says can you confirm that activity was you? And I went through the starting process, and I actually filled the form out again, just the digital form obviously on the screen, and it went into name, full name, optional. You don't have to give a middle name, no date of birth, postcode, etc. Password, Gmail, gender, and it came. I think they did call it gender actually, but it went male, female, other, prefer not to say. And I just thought, when did this happen? And it's not about me being a stick in the mud. It's about when did they stop with what society was. And again, I wouldn't mind at all if it was real. If it was real, what do I mean by real? I mean the majority would be applicable. This gender argument would be a lot better for normal people to swallow if the figures applied to most of us most of the time. Surely things are put into policy, put into existence, things come to pass, come to be, because the requirement at a utilitarian level, and I really, really hope that this when I post this, I'll give myself a headache. I really hope that someone gets this, because, like, to my understanding, let's say again, just for the sake of the conversation of me trying to convey my point, if you've got 1,000 human beings, just 1,000 people in a field, and 900 of us need to have a blue t-shirt because blue t-shirts enhance our lives. So I'm just being really random, yeah. So 900 people require blue t-shirts to be a better, more productive, more impactful, decent human being. And because it would be like a 90% ratio of humans going, yeah, I really need that blue t-shirt because that blue t-shirt will actually really help the greater good. Again, I'm giving it a ridiculous example to prove a ridiculous point. If that was the case, again, 9 out of 10 would go, yeah, I commend that, because the requirement is there, surplus to requirement, that we are serving the needs of the many. Now, what's happened, and again, I feel literally idiotic. I feel stupid saying it. I actually feel dumb saying this, because it makes me look and sound dumb. I look like a right Charlie, because, and again, I'm past caring, but it needs to be said. And it shouldn't be a radical thing for me to say. It should be nonsensical. In fact, it should be the application of common sense. And of course, common sense is sadly no longer common. Common sense seems to be in short supply. There seems to be a drought of common sense. There seems to be a drought of kindness, actually. Compassion, kindness, common sense, perspective, proportion, humility, grace, the list goes on. Here's the thing. What's actually happened is that the extreme minority, not majority, so it's not 1,000 people with 900 going, we need blue t-shirts. No. It's 1,000 people with 9. this is it. This is where again, oh Justin, prove your point. Where's your data? Where's that's a swing and a miss. Well, no, it's about right, isn't it? It's about right because 90% easily, and again, you don't need to be particularly an academic to work this out. Just walk down the street. Just walk in your neighbourhood. Walk in your demographic. Just go out. Look at people in their cars, on the street, in shops. Get offline. And again, I know I live online, but IRL, in real life, just observe the rest of the universe that isn't Twitter. Observe the rest of the universe that isn't social media, smedia, and you will see that, again, it sounds like I'm attacking the trans thing. I don't even want to say that I'm attacking a name. I'm attacking and I am attacking any movement. I'm attacking any movement that evangelizes at a level of being, a religious experience. That it's akin to religious zealotry. They're zealots, and there's a dogma. It's dogma-driven ideology, and it's so deep and it's so entrenched and ingrained and locked into these kids who become adults in the universities. We know this through Jordan Peterson, of course, that when these kids go out to the real world, that they have been indoctrinated, they have been brainwashed, they do believe they're right. And all of a sudden, those 9 people out of 1,000 who think they need the blue t-shirts, like the real 90% did, again, I know I'm labouring my point, but I'm doing it because I want anyone watching this to go, yeah, all right, that guy does go on a bit, but he's really trying to get his point across. And the point is this: we are protecting minority groups. We are protecting and coddling, eggshelling, again, this inner self-censorship. There's a great piece with American journalist Barry Weiss, that's a girl, Bari, on the awful, evil human that is Brian Stelter. Now, Brian Stelter et al. He's not a journalist. He's a vomiter of words, because it's not journalism, and he knows that, because there are people out there like Don Lemon and Brian Stelter, etc., who are again, it's rich coming from me because I'm so verbose. It's just the way I am. I talk a lot, but they are vomiting forth, they are spewing forth such evil, such malevolence, such Machiavellian malevolence. And Barry Weiss was being interviewed. It's a wonderful piece of footage. It's on YouTube right now, so long may it stay until it's obviously removed. And Barry Weiss described how the world has gone mad, and she literally reeled off the talking points that I've been mentioning, and how when a teenage boy, again a biological male dressing as a female, goes into a female toilet, which he did in America in a school, and didn't just assault, he actually raped a fellow student. Now, dressed as a girl. And this is okay. This is okay all of a sudden. This is okay. At no point, at no decade, at no time was this and should this be okay. So something's gone wrong. I'm noticing the promotion and the pushing of paedophilia. I'm deadly serious. You can't honestly, objectively, pragmatically look at the likes of Facebook and other social media sites and not notice that they are okaying, they are green lighting, minors. And I've gone there, so I'll finish. And I do mean minors, people that are 8, 10 children, gyrating and doing. I don't even want to. It makes me sick, actually. There's footage of some sort of school library setting thing with men my age, with little boys, bouncing on their knees. But it wasn't just like an innocent bounce like I did when I was 5, with my family. No. This was a what they call it, like a twerking. Like, it's sick, man. It's sick. It is. It's sick. Now, it is problematic because at no point should any of this filth be normalised. I wouldn't want my children, if I had any, or anyone that I loved or has a friend or family member, to think that this is okay. And the reason why, a Brian Stelter, a Don Lemon, or whoever, any regurgitator of these talking points is so dangerous is because we have experienced this before in history. And it's going to sound so obvious when I say it. I mean, anyone watching or listening will know where I'm leading to, alluding to. The precedent was set in 1933. 1933 to 1945, a dozen horrendous years with a little man called Adolf, and the rest we know. But we know that man's, and his, again, because he was worshipped as a demagogue, and we're seeing it now. We are seeing religious zealots, and when I say religion, I mean religion. I don't mean I'm making a vague, sort of nebulous reference to, oh, what does he mean? Catholicism or Christianity or Islam or whatever you want to call it, Islam, Muslim, or whatever floats your boat, guys. Whatever religion you're into. But what's happening now, and it's been going on for about 5 years, is a huge effort, and it is. It's like a very slow moving tsunami that's been spotted. I'm giving really rubbish, metaphors really here, but it's like. I remember a couple of years ago mentioning what I meant. A lot of people would say, "Oh, he's talking about pilling, red pill, blue pill, matrix, black pill, white pill, see-through pill, whatever pill." Yeah. I'd like to get off the pill thing and just say it's about accepting what's real and good and wholesome versus what's not real and is being perpetuated and promoted and pushed and propagandized to the point where it's being spoken into existence. It's being maneuvered and molded into being normal. And what is so dangerous, and if you can't see that, then you need to really wake up, because I know it's been the term is getting worn out. It's like woke, woke culture and cancel culture. But what's actually happening is the snubbing. No, not the snubbing, the erasing. It's not just a snub. I could snub you, you could snub me walking down the street and just be like, look past me, just sort of look through me and pretend you didn't see me. Is that Justin Houghton? No, that's a little snub. No, what I'm talking about is a complete removal. Sound familiar, anyone? Again, that's why I mentioned those dates, 1933 to 1945. In 1933, when the Hitler was, the whole kind of National Socialist Party, and again, it's happening now. So, and I've said this on this live stream time and time and time again. Those that smelt it dealt it. It's an old ploy that we employed in school. And it was so funny looking back, and just such a schoolboy thing for me to do. But I can tell you, I was one of many who used the whoever smelt it dealt it thing. And if you haven't guessed already, it certainly is big here in the UK. I wonder how it was in America. That sort of that kind of look when you're just like, someone's done a fart and you kind of like. Have you done one? And you sort of look, you kind of look to your mate and go, "Are you fine?" It's the same as like when you're in a restaurant and you go, "Can we have the check? Can we have the check?" And you just sort of say thank. You're asking for, can we want to pay? You've got the bill. You've got the bill. And it's like and I remember Lee Evans doing this years ago. It's very funny. And I know Gervais has done it, so I'm not pretending at all to do original comedy, and I'm doing a bad job. But literally, miming it, and you do this across the restaurant. Can we the bill? You mouth it and you whisper it. It's quite funny. And I know that was done. I did it in school with. This is going somewhere, by the way. There's a reason why I'm mentioning this. And I did it in school with, like, you'd be in class and you'd basically guff. Now in my days, farting was called guffing. So you let one go, and because there's a girl literally 2 desks from you who you fancy the hell out of, you thought, right, I am now sat in a cloud of my own fecal matter. So best I act like the one that smelt it. So I'm like, oh, can you smell that? Oh, it's disgusting. So you'd literally not embellish. Well, yeah, it is embellishing. You'd performatively in a very animated way go, oh God, who did you fart? Was that you? You know, and you do all this stuff, and it's a way of deflection. Like, and you know what I'm describing, and I can't even watch myself on camera because it's too embarrassing. I just think you look a twat, just. But I don't care. There is a cringe factor with me going, oh, you know, and all this. But it's funny because we did it, and if you didn't do it, you're probably lying. You're probably lying. So there was a point in our younger days where those that smelt it dealt it, and it's the number one tactic. It's the number one move that politicians make, and it's happening. All you've got to do is to watch the telly, you know, watch, you know, whether it's internet, whether it's screen, just watch these people because, you know, if they're talking Russian collusion, if they're talking, you know, defund the police, if they're talking, you know, whatever, you know, abortion, pick your topic, pick your poison, right? Just whatever it is. The people that are the accusers, the people that are bringing it to the fore, the people that are making a thing of it, the people that are going, oh, this is terrible, this is racist, right? They're the ones doing it. And it's such a, again, what literally blows my mind is how a social technique that I used in my teenage, you know, in my teens, which was to deflect, to lie, deny, to counter accuse, to deflect, to bat it away, get it gone, bat it away, you know, this deflection. And you would literally sit there and you would like a clown, you would be like, oh God, that stings, oh my God, that stings. And you do this big scene about who has farted, oh, it's gross, man. Oh my, that's disgusting, oh my God, oh, you do all this, you know, and you'd really go for it. And all the time, I mean, it would often work. That's the thing. And 9 times out of 10, it works. You know, I used to take it a stage further because it was just typically me. But I do things like I'm not joking. Again, I've got no reason to lie. It's just what I did. I was a little troublemaker. I would sit there in class and be like, oh, miss, you know, and I'd actually raise my hand. I took it to a new level. Seriously, I don't give a shit. It's funny. I'd raise my hand and go, "Oh, Miss Someone's, can you smell that? That's disgusting. Oh my God!" And I'd really out loud, "Oh, it's disgusting." You know, and only the people that were really close to me, only like my closest immediate mates would be like winking, nudging, knowing that it was me that dropped my guts. It was me that had farted, and of course I was deflecting and just you know pushing it away by going, "Oh my God, it's disgusting. You sick? I'm gonna, you know," and you make a big song and dance about this fart that you've done, but you're acting like someone's dropped a bomb, you know? And the reason I tell that story is because that's what's being done now. It's an age-old technique. It's such honestly, oh God, it's such, and of course, you can watch the old-aged pensioner that is Joseph Biden doing this. Come on, man. You know, he's actually doing it. They're all doing it. You know, I don't know how Jen Psaki sleeps at night. It literally blows my mind. So look, I've spoken for about 28 minutes to get to my real point. The reason I've mentioned all this stuff, you know, like I've done like a snowplow, I've done all this to mention it's going on. I've mentioned gender and, you know, this sort of accusatory, you know, bat it away, you know, those that smelt it, dealt it. Again, if you look like you're smelling a fart in the air, you know, you're the one that's actually doing the deed. So the reason is because when you see people that are screaming racism, systemic racism, they are the most racist bastards around. They are about exclusion, not inclusion. They are about segregation, not unity. They're about division, that they're not about being united. These are people that want, I'm deadly serious. I mean, please fact check me. These are people, and you know, we call them Democrats. These are people that actually want a two-tier class system. These are people that actually want the dirty, unclean leper colony that is the unvaxxed to be literally on Alcatraz. I put it to you, this is not an exaggeration. And again, I've got to stop apologising for myself. You know, one of my most you know, biggest sort of self-loathing issues is what, you know, I've literally just done. Is like, you know, I rinse and repeat. I labour a point under this, you know, Justin hates Justin type thing, and it's got to stop. I've got to get off that ridiculous notion, or get over myself and just say, look, if people don't like what I say, because you know you can't odds it. I mean, if you try too hard to make yourself likable, that's going back, reverting certainly me back to when I was a kid, where I felt desperately uncool and untrendy and unpopular, and went to great lengths to yeah, to fit in, air quotes, And so look, what I'm saying is this: it's really weird. We are at a strange fulcrum point where I'm just gonna have a bit of milk. Hang on, hold on, because my mouth's a bit dry. It's trust me, guys. I know I've been yapping for half an hour, but it's really going somewhere. I really want to get this point across because it's about the digital ID. It's about the ID and the very frightening possibility of what's being done to our ID. Actually, I learned this. You shouldn't slurp on a microphone. Hold on. I'm going to finish this because I like it. I never get bored of milk. As a kid, still like it now. Call this the intermission. If I was a good streamer, I'd have some unlicensed score background music, wouldn't I? Okay, it's done. Apologies for the the way I did that, but it's not like I've got a big audience to worry about. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. So here's the thing. Let me get this mic a bit further away. Sorry. Stand by. I'm going to give it a little turn. That's better. I see my mic's really, really stiff actually, which I like. Okay. So that's better. The digital ID is obviously because it's not surprising, is it? It comes out of China. China. I can't do Donald. So it comes out of China, and it's a social credit score. Now, don't be too freaked out. This has been a relatively slow train coming, but if you're not aware, then get aware. Please get aware. Please, I feel like I'm doing some sort of bizarre PSA, some kind of ridiculous, hello, this is TrueHouse, and it's a public service announcement. But, I'm just a bloke. And again, it sounds really pants if I say, oh, I'm a concerned citizen. But the reason why I've spoken for half an hour on the foundation of identity and why our identity is being not only manipulated but it's being propagandized to a point where people can. This is why I mentioned the majority versus the minority. And although my example, I want to hammer this home one more time. Although my example of 1,000 people, and again, it's a completely random example. I don't know where this came into my head, but literally imagine, if you will, 1,000 of us, 1,000 people being, coaxed and coerced into a field, and we're literally, like sheepdog and sheep, as a metaphor. And there's 1,000 of us, and we're in a field, and we all say, we want to wear, we need a blue t-shirt. It could be anything. It could be a pair of green sneakers, whatever, trainers. But if 1,000 people are in a field and 900 require a blue t-shirt, it's fair to say 90% want the blue t-shirt, right? Which is, I'm being childish to prove a childish point. The reason I'm going to such lengths I'm sounding hyperbolic. I'm sounding, oh, what's this bollocks he's talking about? But there's a reason that if 90% of Gen Pop say, yeah, we need this, then that's the majority. And then a government, however, centralized or not, would say, whoa, hang on, we've got 9 out of 10 people here. We've got 90% of people that need this requirement. Let's give it to them. But what's happening is the opposite, is the inverse. It's such perversion. we've got the 10%. We've got literally the small. It's less than 10%. That's the crazy thing. My figures are off. My figures are off. It's literally like saying the. So the extreme minority are the ones going, we want this, we want, and the government like, yeah, have this, have this. That's the bonkers bit. So, when you see when you see China's social credit score dependent on their behavior online, you just think. I mean, let me run that by. I guess that came out really wrong because I'm getting tired now. So China are using a model whereby if they spit on the street or fart in public or drop some litter or do some jaywalking or jump a red light or I don't know, do something they shouldn't do on one of these, they are seen by CCTV because their facial recognition is on every lamppost. So what I'm describing, guys, is a surveillance state. To be surveyed. I know people call it surveilling or surveilled. You drop the L. You drop the L. It's a surveillance state, or you are being surveyed. So what's concerning is that China have fully embraced it, and we over here in the West, not us lot, but Biden's lot. And of course, that sounds very divisive. That sounds very inflammatory. What I've just done a bipartisan thing. That was bipartisan, me saying, yeah, that lot, the other lot. But it's what they're doing, and it's completely, as we say, bad faith, bad actor. It's disingenuous, it's not good. And of course, now with the social credit scoring that's being proposed, it will affect us. How, Justin? How do you think it's going to affect us? Well, I'll tell you why it'll affect us. Because when Tony Blair, the piece of shit, the poss that he is, went to war at the behest of Bush, the same thing will happen again. We will do what America tell us. And, I'm getting sleepy now. I've worn myself out, but I just, it's what. Let me look at my notes, because before I go, all right. Digital ID. Look, Jen Psaki, sarcastic, circle back, Jen Psaki. She is obviously vaxxed up the wazoo. She's vaxxed in every orifice probably, and she's got COVID, right? So that, I'm sorry, a little bit funny. I know I'm being evil, but it's like, just, yeah, it's a bit getting tired now. But hey, there's an example of a woman who actually, I'm not going to apologise for laughing at Jen Psaki, because I don't know if Americans, perhaps someone could tell me in comments, I don't know if Americans use the term Psaki like we do. So, it's, yeah, definitely getting tired quickly, goodness me. Over here in the, oh god, damn it! I hate it when I get this tired this quickly. It just comes. It could be the milk. Oh look over here. Oh god, I'm going to end this now because that's 39 minutes and I've just hit a wall. Damn it! I was doing so well. I was really. I don't know if you watch this or not, but I was really flowing, and now it's like. So look, just a quick consultation. I did make some notes tonight. See, I really did. TrueHouse 434 Digital ID Act. It's Bill Gates. Okay, so Bill Gates with his harmless philanthropic cardigan on, should I say philanthropic threads? There you go. This great unwashed, unmasked, unmasked. I mean, talk about mask slippage. Here's the mask slippage. So the biomedical information from Experian, Equifax, the credit score is linked to vax status. This is not me giving some pie in the sky theory. This is me watching our ex-Prime Minister Tony Evil Bastard Blair and Bill Gates having interviewed, just YouTube it. Actually, this is where I've got to get better. I should be able to go links in the description, provided I'll take you direct to the YouTube article. Instead, I got a man on a piece of paper saying, "Go and look it up on YouTube, man." So I've got to learn to provide links. I really have. Someone help me, please. So you've got Bill Gates talking about the way things. It's describing the Great Reset. The the fourth industrial revolution as world economic fart face Klaus Bond villain Schwab is describing. It's just this awful hurtling towards transhumanism. Just I don't know. I don't know. It's deeply concerning. It's deeply concerning to see people. God, I'm tired all of a sudden. Damn it! I hate it. I hate it. I'm gonna have to go because it's just. This is typically me. I'm like go 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 go, and I crash. I'll continue this tomorrow night because I know that if I keep going, I'm going to really cock this up. You will see me fall asleep on camera. You'll get pissed off and you won't come back. So I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I have hit a wall. Again, this is TrueHouse. I am Justin House. I do not lie. I tell the truth. I'd rather offend you with the truth. And guess what? My truth is the truth. I'd rather offend you with my honesty than offend you with my dishonesty. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's because it's true. I'd rather you just, I don't know, I'd rather people go, well, yeah, he's kind of a bit out there. He's a little bit meh, not a great fan of TrueHouse, but he doesn't lie. He doesn't lie. So speaking of not lying, I'm really tired now. It just happens. Yeah, I need to go to bed. I think it's all it's to do with my sleep. So look, we'll be back tomorrow night, 9 o'clock onwards. I'm going to finish this tomorrow night because I think it's worth chatting about. Please come back. Please like, share, subscribe, the whole thing, and all that. Link in the description. God, just talk like a YouTuber. But seriously, guys, thank you for joining me, and I'll be back tomorrow night. Same face, same time, same place. Cheers. See you soon.